Masculine, clean, sophisticated, subtle. Hello everyone, welcome to the Take Care Man channel. My name is Todd. In this video we're going to be shaving with Holy Cow's Man from Mayfair shaving soap. I've already got it lathered up here in the Pereira shaving bowl, and I'm using the Simpson's Trafalgar T3 to kind of stay with this UK British theme. Mayfair is an area of London, or more specifically Westminster. I think it's the in the East End of London, is that right? Well, no, West End of London. To look at my notes over here, I don't know my London geography. It's a rather posh part of London, and so this scent is supposed to evoke like a gentlemanly feel. It has notes of bergamot, which we just talked about yesterday, and lavender, which we just talked about yesterday, and I'd say yesterday is in the video that posted yesterday. In addition to lavender and bergamot, we have sandalwood and patchouli and oak moss. That all sits on a bed of musk and powdery notes. And Shri from Holy Cow notes that the bergamot essential oil he uses in this particular fragrance is bergaptine free. So I had looked up what that was. Now I knew that certain citrus oils, when used on the skin, can cause photosensitivity, meaning it makes your skin more susceptible to UV rays. And so when removing the bergaptine from the bergamot, you lessen that photosensitivity issue. I'm not sure how they do that, how that's done, but that's a common thing, is people seeking out products that have bergaptine free bergamot. So nothing jumps out on this scent in terms of individual notes, at least upon applying it to my face. I would say this is a lighter scent. I would put this, as of right now, at this point in the shave, about a 4 out of 10 on the scent strength. By the way, the Man from Mayfair soap is currently not in stock on the Holy Cow site or in many retailers, but Shri tells me it's coming back in the Sierra base. And continuing with that British theme, we're going to go with, well, you know, before I get to the razor, the Pereira has a perfectly good brush rest, and for some reason I just dropped it right into the bowl for whatever reason, so we'll deal with that on the second pass. So back to the razor, an Edwin Jagger here. I don't know the number. It's a DE89 head, but the number of the entire razor is something a little different. It has a sort of rubberized, it's got these vertical stripes for grip. It feels quality. It doesn't feel like rubber. It just feels, I mean, it almost feels like a leatherette in some ways. That might be pushing it a little bit, but it doesn't look cheap or feel cheap, I'll put it that way. I thought since we have this Mayfair theme, we'd go with this particular razor. And it has a nasset on its first use. Hope everyone's doing well. We'll try to pick out some notes, but again, this one's pretty light. It's pleasant. It's fresh. The audio is probably going to change up because I just knocked my lavalier mic off into the sink water. Hopefully it'll be okay, but I didn't want it to be crackling on you while finishing the shave. Well, this one is off to not too good of a start. Anyway, so we'll just use the audio on the phone, hopefully to pick up okay. What was I saying? Oh, the musk is way in the background. There's just enough there to let you know, and I would say the musk and the patchouli and the sandalwood and the oak moss probably blend to give it that musky accord, but it's definitely the base. It's meaning it's sitting in the background. I don't have the aftershave for this, sadly, primarily because it doesn't come in a sample. If you saw my, if I could only choose 5 artisans for life video tag that IMCDB started, I picked as my sentimental favorite Barrister and Man. And I think it's currently Barrister and Man week for BBS Live viewers, but I was already in the middle of this Holy Cow stretch. Well, not in the middle, we've just begun. By the way, my lights are flickering a little bit in here today for whatever reason, my regular bathroom lights. So if you see a little flickering, one of the reasons I chose Barrister and Man as my sentimental favorite is because it's pretty easy to find samples of both their soaps and then pre-Corona, their splashes, and then now during Corona and post-Corona, I guess, the balms, because I think the alcohol itself is hard to find during COVID. May have been some other ingredients. But regardless, Barrister Man, usually through Maggards, you can find their soap samples and post-shave samples. And they even do that with new releases. Sometimes a few days before the full sets come out, they'll release a sample of the splash. I'm sorry, of the soap and the post-shave product, whether it be a splash or a balm. And that's, you know, one of the knocks I would have on any other artisan, those that do not provide samples of both the soap and post-shave products, because they usually will smell a little different, meaning the soap versus the post-shave product, because they just have different bases, meaning the media, meaning soap versus alcohol or witch hazel or whatever that the scent is blended into, the fragrance is blended into. Okay, second pass against the grain. So I wish I had the alcohol splash for this to see how it dries down, how it smells. Because I imagine this is one, and that's pure speculation, that would be a little stronger as a splash. What I do smell, I would say, is subtle, yet very clean and sophisticated, yet masculine. So masculine, clean, sophisticated, subtle. That's how I would put this. Very pleasant scent. If you happen to have the splash, or the toner or balm for this, comment below the difference between it and the soap if you have both, or just the scent strength on the post. Better yet, if you're willing to share a sample with the channel, send me a message on Facebook or Instagram or down in the comments below. I'll give you my address where you can send it off to me, if you're willing to share that, of course. Be nice if you were. But it's a little frustrating to really love the products of a particular artisan and only be able to find certain ones of the soaps, and certainly not, for some of them, not the post shaves. That's another reason I love Sterling and PAA. You always get samples of PAA splashes for 99 cents, and Sterling, you can get their soaps and their splashes and their witch hazels. Yeah, this is really pleasant, masculine, pleasant. With the oak moss, bergamot, lavender, you could almost classify this as a really light fougere or fougere, if anybody knows which way that should be pronounced. Put that in the comments below. With the Rockwell 6S, I've been able to get away with sort of 2.5 passes. I think I'm going to have to do 3.5 with this Edwin Jagger. Hope everyone's week is off to a good start. Back when I first started DE shaving, and I was trying to find a DE razor, I started with a couple of like $10 razors from Razor Rock, which did okay, but I kept seeing stuff about the Edwin Jagger DE 89 and the Mercure 34C. And now and I went with the 89 DE89 head first. I had just a DE89, which I later gave to my brother. But since then, I've gotten a Mercure 43C, which has the 34C head, and I prefer it to the DE89 head personally. I find it a little more grab and go. With the DE89, I feel like I have to kind of focus on the angle a little more than I do with the Mercure. Let me rinse off and I'll come back and we'll finish up with the post shave. For a splash day, what I'm going to do is, let me take the top off of both of these here because they'll have to be prepared, is I'm going to use some of the Barbedeaux splash, which I really became familiar with from the 54321 videos. A lot of people named this. I remember specifically Jeffrey Smith naming it. It has NSAIDs in it, meaning non-steroid anti-inflammatory drugs, sort of like ibuprofen. I'm not saying it's ibuprofen, but like that, to help with inflammation. It's got jojoba oil, avocado oil, argan oil, aloe, vitamin D, and it's currently for sale for $18.25 on Barbedeaux site, or you can get it for $21.99 on the Razor Company, and probably, I didn't look into the shipping specifically on Barbedeaux site, so the $21.99 may be a better deal, but it is like $30 on Amazon. I'm going to take one of my favorite fragrances, definitely my top three, Sartorial, giving that same sort of posh London man from Mayfair vibe. Put a couple, 3 squirts into the Barbedeaux, because the Barbedeaux is largely unscented, except it's definitely got alcohol burn because it smells mostly of alcohol. It does have some orange oil in there. I think that's the citrus oil that's in there. So it has a very subtle citrus scent. Could have got a lot closer with that shave, but yeah, beautiful scent. Penhaligon Sartorial is a good match. Not an exact match, but a good blend. Same sort of gentleman vibe, a lot stronger scent off of the Sartorial, but definitely fits with the man from Mayfair. So that's going to do it. Off to work for me. Hope your week is off to a good start. Until next time, take care, man.